The following program is sponsored by Kaylee's Outdoors. All content is the responsibility of Kaylee's Outdoors. Good morning, hunters and fishermen. It's time now for Catch the Madness, a presentation of Kaylee's Outdoors. Let your friends know that Catch the Madness is on Mountain Talk starting right now.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us. This is Kaylee with Kaylee's Catch the Madness. Today's show is with Boneyard Seed Incorporated, or LLC. Scott Bronkema, if you want to know how to spell that, it's Bronkema, Bronkema. And he's going to be joining us in just a few minutes to talk about his product and what he can offer, folks. So, as always, I start out with the Pledge of Allegiance. So, take off your hat, folks. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Scott, tell everybody what Boneyard Seed is and who you are.
We're a food plot seed company. We specialize in custom food plots where we customers can pick and choose mixes that we can mix up custom for the plots that they're going to do themselves. And we also have pre-mix packaging we sell for the retail and stores.
Okay.
And we're from up in Michigan, and yes, but we sell all across the United States. And
do you on your food plots, and since you told everybody what it is, why do people need food plots? I mean, why can't deer just go out or ducks or geese or waterfowl, any of those, or even down to your small game? Why can't they just go out and eat what's in the woods?
It's just the food plots are more a tool that's just going to help them bring anything they're looking for into the area they want to either hold them at or get their hunt over. And it keeps for example, if you're looking for a deer,
mm-hmm.
It keeps the deer coming in all year long, and you can kind of control what you want to do with them as much as you can. One thing they're always going to need is the food. Exactly.
3 things they need: food, water, and a bed, right?
Right, exactly.
So you've implemented this into a business, of I'm not saying feeding the deer, because we don't feed animals, we give them nourishment, and you have implemented into this plan some great products, and it's just amazing to see a turnip get above the ground in 4 days. Tell us a little bit about what you've got as far as your seeds and what you got as far as your grass. You don't have to tell us all, just give us a couple of things that you got going there.
Yeah, that's one of our biggest sellers is our forage products,
mm-hmm.
which they actually get a lot bigger than most. And we kind of searched around and did our research and found that the animals prefer and are more nutritious is the leaf of the plant, in which the forage and they get a bigger leaf, or much larger leaf.
I asked you one time, I think you put it on steroids. Did you have it on steroids? But anyway, I digress.
Yeah, they grow fast, and that's one of our biggest ones, and they work really well. And we also do a lot of the clovers, which are pretty much the same way. And those are more of a perennial that'll last for years.
And the perennials now, on some of these you have to broadcast every year. You have to till the ground and broadcast them. On some, it'll come back year after year, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. The annuals will be yearly, and then the perennials will last 4 to 5 years.
Oh, wow.
On the soil.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you have grasses too, right?
Yeah, we have a few grasses. We do a lot of oats and wheat, ryegrass.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's more of just to keep your plot stable. I like to mix that with the clover, just to it helps protect the clover from drought or anything like that.
Now, folks, let me tell you a little bit about Scott. Scott has a huge backyard, and this looks like you go into Kroger's, into the produce aisle, and that's all you see is just different things planted. And yes, he does have the deer and the squirrel and everything you can imagine he's got right there in that one plot, but he does produce some great, seeds. What he's doing is he's trying them out before he sends them to us, and so therefore that's why he has the salad bar in his backyard.
Pretty much.
I had to tell that on you, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I always want to make sure I use anything I sell. I make sure I'll use myself. So and our big thing is we kind of make it just everything. Like if you order turnips, you're going to get straight turnips. We don't mix it with anything else.
Right.
We keep the weed seed down there and just to give the customer the best product they can get.
And it's absolutely amazing because it comes in a nice bag. I mean, it's not leaking when you get it. It's very, very sealed. And it amazed me that it just come in one package. It's not all seeds in the bottom of the box when you get it.
Oh yeah, we try to keep that as much. Yeah, because a lot of the seeds get pretty small. Like you probably know, they just kind of. You have to have good packaging to keep them in there.
You do, and I promise you have the best on that. And there's a lot of different areas in the United States. Everybody knows that cold south, warm versus not warm, but moist versus dry air. In this region, just for Arkansas, because we have so many listeners from the great state of Arkansas, tell us, what can we plant in this region? Because we're hilly and we have rocks and we have, if you dig down 2 inches, you're going to come up on a 50-foot rock. So tell us what we can plant to bring our deer in.
For you guys, it's more the timing when you plant.
Okay. I
mean, your big planting season is going to be coming up here August, September, because you want to keep that's what your climate's going to be, your temperatures and rain going to be the best. And then if you get into the clovers don't take a hold. If you're really rocky, I'd suggest like clovers.
Okay.
They don't have the huge deep root systems that they need, and they can survive on minimal soil. And then if you just like a lot of small rocks, some of the brassicas, if you go like with the forage turnips, which give the big leaf on the top again, but they have a small actually root system. They don't have a big bulb.
Right.
Those work well in that. And
then that's what I planted last year, and they're really doing good as the turnips. And people were going to want to, wonder about the clover. Is it feasible to plant that in this area? If it's going to grow. And you're saying our season to plant is coming up August, September, and October. And we don't have a cold month, really bad cold winters like we did up north. And you and I lived up there, and we were talking about this. We both had 2 foot of snow on the ground at that time. But your plant survived that, though.
Oh yeah. Up here, those. Into the cool season, we'll go right through the winter up here, and then the same thing applies kind of down there. You want to keep the plant in the coolest season that you can, and which is going to be starting and go through the winter months. Which you're not really cooling down like up here, but the plants will survive it. They'll acclimate to it.
Very good. We did talk about this too. The deer, love to scrape the ice or scrape the snow off the ground, and they have that little, peekaboo of a green, and they really keep coming back and back and back. So when they do that, my question would be to you: how do we, when we plant our food plots, how do we keep it growing continuously? Do we need to add other products to just one, or you suggest that, or do we just need to plant one thing and go somewhere else and plant something else?
Yeah, I would do that. If you just planted one thing and just kind of, it's a matter of picking the right thing to plant. Mm-hmm. Like if you get into if you have a lot of deer, if you tend to get overgrazed a lot, if you go with like a kale, which is a brassica, they just grow tremendous forage. So it's going to be your best bet, and it'll last you all season long.
Now, the guys up in Missouri that, we both know, they have planted some of the best looking clover and turnips and beans that you'll ever see. And what you need to do is go to Boneyard Seed on Facebook and Twitter both, and see these plants that these guys in Missouri, just right across the state line, folks, what they're growing. I mean, it's just absolutely amazing. And once you start planting those things from Boneyard Seed, you're going to see more and more deer come. You're going to see the herd, and then you're going to be able to develop your herd with Boneyard Seed. You're going to be able to have better babies, that survive on later on. You're going to have or fawns that survive later on. You're going to have antler growth that's really much better. The stabilization of the antler growth. And if I'm wrong, Scott, you can stop me and cut me off any minute. But it's just amazing to me that the deer really, really, really just keep coming back on this.
Yeah, and that's our biggest thing is we like to sell quality seed that's going to give the nutritious for the wildlife, and that's what's going to help them out the most. And actually, that's the best attractant. Deer know, or any animal knows what's nutritious or not.
Yeah. Go ahead.
And it just helps them all the way around, like you said, with the does, whether it be the does or the fawns, help them out when they're like now it's probably they're starting to drop their fawns now.
Right.
Then all the way up to you get into the older bucks that they need the protein and everything for their antlers.
Right, and they don't. And the very older bucks, if you've not culled your herd with them, they do need that extra nutrition too, because they don't survive winters. Especially up in the north, like they should. But that's just a part of the life cycle, and we all know that. And we get sheds out of it, so we get it's a plus or a bonus either way, I guess. If you look at it that way. How does people find you? I mean, do you have a website? What?
Yeah, our website's boneyardseed.com, and then also we're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and Google+. They're all under Boneyard Seed. You can find us easily through all those.
Okay, and I'll make sure I put that on our website, or our website and our Facebook pages, or all our media pages, because you have really been good to me, and I have been blessed to have some of the nicest deer around with your product, and they keep coming back. I mean, from being up there to being down here, I went from one great to another great, so I'm pretty lucky. And if folks start buying this and seeing what you can do for them, it's amazing. When people call you, what can they expect? Or do they need to be able to tell you what kind of soil they got? Because I know the pH balance and stuff has to be right in your soil to plant your seeds. In your everything needs to be right, but the pH is really important on some of the seeds. But so how do they do that? They call and say, hey Scott, I've got 5 acres or 10 acres or 15 acres, and what do I do?
Yeah, that's anything. We help everybody else, from people that never planted before to people that plant all the time. We can walk them through all their steps. We can tell them what their pH has to be and what fertilizer would be good from the planting of it all the way through the whole growth cycle of it.
Oh wow!
And then even through halfway through the season, if they're having a problem or any concerns or anything, you're more than free to contact me at any time.
Now, do you sell the pH kits? I know that you can get them in some of the box stores, but do you sell a pH kit to go along with your seed?
We do not have them. We'll be coming out with those next year and adding them actually to our packages. So, but the box stores have good ones, and there's a lot of places you can get a pH test. And especially the southern tend to have a little bit more acidic soil. So, I mean,
You
most
got
of the time
yeah, you
you're
got to
getting
kill it
everybody.
out. Yeah, it's got to be, especially further south than we are. They've got a lot of acid in their soil. The acidity in their soil is very, very high, and they'll have to straighten that out before they do plant. I wasn't even thinking about that.
Yeah, and we can help them out with that, 'cause there's quite a few different new products on the market we can connect them with to kind of help them out.
And we talked about your different products and what it is. What made you start Boneyard Seed? I mean, I didn't even ask you that, so let me ask you that now.
I started putting in food plots myself, and the stuff I was buying from like the big box stores and stuff, that just wasn't getting the results that I liked. They were mostly, you got seeds in it that I didn't want. Like if I wanted to just plant radishes, there were some multiple seeds mixed with it.
Mm-hmm.
That's like what sets us different. We pretty much, if you buy, say, foraged turnips from us, you're going to get all foraged turnips at that.
Okay. You're not going to get a mix.
No, we can mix. We can do custom mixture if you want, like turnips and radishes together. We're happy to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's all, we kind of try to get the customers anything they want,
okay,
instead of stuff they don't want. So, but then, so then they kind of came up with that idea. I just started doing it myself and getting it from suppliers, and then it kind of evolved into where it's at.
So and I'm going to ask you this, you don't have to tell me if you don't want to. How long have you been in business?
We're in our second year. We're going into our third year now.
And you have done so well, I promise you. That's what I was going to say, that you've only been in business for a short time because you were making your salad salad bar in your backyard for a long time. But you have absolutely come out with some of the most, folks, let me tell you, in 4 days, I had turnips already peeking above the ground, ready to sprout on up. And I'm like, dang, I ain't never seen, I've been growing up around food all my life, planting food all my life. I ain't never seen a turnip do that before. He has to have them on steroids. Let me ask him. So, and I did ask him, and he said, no, there's nothing wrong with those turnips. It's just what they are, and it was kind of funny because I was just in awe of it, but you had warned me. Your turnips, your radishes and stuff like that. Can you plant them in the springtime if you wanted to?
For down there, it's you'd have to go like pretty early spring. You're talking, February, March before you start getting into like any of the drier, hotter.
I don't know. It's been raining down here for the last. I think I'm gonna build me an ark instead of living in a house.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. It's like this cycle just never ends coming out of Texas. But we our deer love it, and it helps them, and it helps our gardens and everything. So can't complain.
Oh, yeah.
Can't complain.
And like the kales is a brassica that you can plant like now. Yeah, it's more of the moisture thing. Once you get the moisture, it allows it to take rut. It'll make it through, and then that's got a longer maturity, so that would be an option for that.
Now, do you ship outside of the United States for anybody that's not in the United States listening?
We haven't yet. We haven't done that yet. We're still. If we can, we'd have to, but I'm sure we'd have to do research as far as customs and stuff. But.
Right. I was going to ask you, would you have to research wherever they were at and get back with them on that?
Yeah, exactly.
Tell us what you got coming up in your hunting season. And I'm going to say this. I do know your wife wants to duck hunt, and we're in the duck capital of the world. You know that. You got to bring her down here.
I know. Yeah. I know. It's going to be a busy season, I think, this year. We're going to have, and I look forward to it because we get to meet a lot of interesting people. A lot of people invite us down there. We put the plots in. They like our stuff. So
yeah, me and the guys in Missouri, we'll take you and your wife, do some good duck hunting. And I'm sure that Lance and I probably could take you to some places. You've killed some nice deer last year. You have last year, and you have in the past, and this is all boneyard seed. This is nothing else. How long did you watch that big buck last year? As far as how long had you been planning for him?
Oh, I watch them. Oh, yeah, all year long. I'll see them. You kind of see the characteristics of them. You kind of get to know them in your senses. They're fawns, and kind of tell. Like we got one in here last year. He's a 4.5-year-old this year, and he's got a big scar on his face. So I know it's always the same deer coming back. So you kind of watch them, and I think that's one of the pluses for a food plot. They'll just keep coming back as long as they're not, pushed out or disturbed. And
right. And that's another thing about having food plots. As you said, they're not pushed out and disturbed, but you can watch them from fawn to, they get 4 or 5 years old, which is, I like a 4-year-old or older. That's what I like to cull from my herd every year and kill. You watch them, their habits, their routines. What's the craziest thing you ever seen a deer do in your food plots?
We had one last year. Actually, the one I shot last year. He was just a bully to all the other deer. he was actually had 2 bucks bigger than it would rather gotten, but he would just push them out anytime they're in there, and finally they got sick of it, moved on. So. Oh
my! And they're funny because they have kind of traits like humans do.
Oh yeah. Like some are more, I'd say, bullies, and some are more shy or something. But yeah, they'll push each other around even if they're smaller.
And then you got your camera hogs that hog the camera. They love to have their picture taken on the trail cam.
Oh yeah.
It's funny. I mean, it is. You have to think. You have to sit back and go, "Wow, really? Seriously, dude? Come on." You and I could talk forever. I want you to everybody. It's boneyardseed.com, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then Facebook.
We have all our contact.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, we have all our contact information and everything from our Facebooks, Twitters, Instagram.
Okay.
And then even my cell phone's on there. So yeah, email, everything's right onto that website.
Okay. Boneyardseed.com, and then they also can, if they know what they want, they can go on that site and order directly. They don't have to talk to you or anything.
Right. Yeah, because we do have prepackaged varieties on there, and one thing we offer is anything that you order off the website is free shipping. We don't charge any shipping if it's ordered through the website.
Folks around here like that, free shipping.
Yeah, because that's a tough one. I mean, because we're shipping quite a ways a lot of times, and we're able to take care of that.
And sometimes there's a lot of people that order a lot of seed, and that would get very, very expensive for them. But you take care of the customer, and that's what people like. It's good customer service. We all want that, and it's very important to us that that you guys are. Like I said,
yeah, that's our biggest goal, is to keep our customers happy. And I see the rewards when hunting season does roll around. My customers are texting me pictures of deer they got or deer they see, and that's the best time of year for me.
And folks, if you do plant a boneyard seed, and in your boneyard, as we call it, you have a nice deer, or anything that you kill in the boneyard, please text it to Scott. Put it on Scott.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Scott's Facebook page, his Twitter page, his Instagram page. Make sure you hashtag boneyard seed on it, and he would love to look at them, and we all love to see pictures of other people that grow, or use the boneyard seed and grow awesome fields and plants and stuff.
Oh yeah. It's like, I always like it when I get texts of pictures or emails.
Scott, I appreciate you being on the show. Again, you can get a hold of him. and make sure you get your boneyard planted before, coming up August, September, and October. Make sure you have it in the ground. We want to have a really good year next year for you guys, and that's what we're hoping for you. Scott, thank you for being on the show tonight, or this morning. I do that every time, this morning, and I want you to come back in the wintertime.
Oh, anytime.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Scott, and you have a great morning.
Thank you. You have a great morning, too.
So, folks, what do you think? Do you think you want to grow a boneyard? Do you think you want to have the nicest steer on the block? Things that people will be jealous of? Then you'll need to contact Scott. He will set you up. He will bring you the most absolute best product that you can buy. And it's not expensive. I promise you, it's not expensive. So we're glad to have him on the show this morning. You can always check out his Facebook page and his Twitter and his Instagram. It's like with us. Be sure to join us every Saturday morning at 8:30. We will be glad to have you. If you cannot listen to us at that time, the next time that you can't listen to us, there's a little thing called audio on demand that you can go to on the website, and then that way you can listen to us later on. So thank you for joining us tonight. Be sure to check out Kaylee's Outdoors on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Google+, and we hope to have you back next Saturday morning when our guest will be somebody that you'll really like and you'll enjoy. So be sure to join us Saturday, 8:30, Catch the Madness with Kaylee. Thank you, folks.
This has been Catch the Madness, brought to you by Kaylee's Outdoors. You can also listen to this show anytime from the audio on demand section of mountaintalkradio.com or from the Mountain Talk mobile app. Be sure to join us next week at the same time for another exciting episode of Catch the Madness, a paid presentation of Kaylee's Outdoors.